Hey guys, Engineer Wannabe here. I haven't said that in a while. My name is Sanjay, and welcome to the Engineer Wannabe YouTube channel. I'm here with my good friend Clayton. Wait, oh man, I was gonna do this whole. Wait. I forgot. Hey, how's it going, guys? Scumbag Sanjay here. sorry, sorry. I'll go back. I'll go back. Um, yeah. So, how are you doing, Clayton? Thank you for joining me. What's happening?
Nothing. I'm doing well. Had a great day. Yeah, went by fast. We put our new desk together today. I don't know where the day went. One of those days where just all of a sudden it's 9 p.m. somehow.
Yeah, yeah, same here. Very busy day. I was just telling you that I was doing a bit of running around, wheeling and dealing. Not with regard to watches, but with regard to video games. 3DS and Wii U, Nintendo eShops are closing down in a couple of weeks. No, in a week. Um, so prices are skyrocketing on stuff, and I just wanted to finalize my game collection before things went haywire. Um, so yeah, you were asking me where I do that, but mostly game stores. Um, so I don't know. I don't know if that makes me like a backpack dealer, but sometimes I go to game stores and I see games for prices that are super low, and I'd be like, "Oh wow, I should pick that up." And then I'd happen to be at another game store trying to pick something else up, and I'd be like, "Oh, what if I trade this in?" And then I get like 50% of my value over what I paid for it, and I'm like, "Okay, cool." So that's what the wheeling and dealing was, but mainly to finish everything that I want to own. But yeah,
Cool.
that was it. Yeah.
Well, it's not your fault if the gaming stores don't price them properly, right?
It's so hard to do that though. Like they'd have to, and it's not like that's the only console that they have when they're selling games. Like if you go to one of these stores, they've got hundreds of maybe not hundreds of consoles, but tens of consoles, um and keeping track of every single game on every single console, seeing what the values are every other day. And I mean, with the 3DS and Wii U, I guess you can kind of things are a little volatile right now, and so you can keep an extra close eye on things. But yeah, it's like things change so fast. Like Mario Golf, man, I was going for like $10. It's going for
Wow.
$100 now. It's just I should have bought Mario Golf. I knew I was like, oh, it's Mario Golf. No one's gonna want it. Everyone wants it. Anyway, sorry. Let's talk about watches. What's on yours, sir?
Well, I had one more question. So
Yeah.
with watches, there's like, watch charts and you can on Chrono 24, you can sort of keep track of based on their numbers, which isn't always accurate, where certain watch values are at. Is there a website where you can do that with video games?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mainly pricecharting.com.
Okay.
So yeah, it's they keep track of eBay mainly. So like
Okay.
eBay sold listings, they'll like list them at the bottom, and you'll get like a rough estimate of what they might be worth based on the market. So yeah, pretty good
Interesting.
resource.
Huh. That's
I'm
cool.
sorry, James. If James Duffy is here, we're probably talking shop for you. So sorry, James. But yeah, what's on yours, sir?
I have told you, I guess I have told some people, Formex, after Keith and I did our episode of the micro brand Mount Rushmore, Formex and other brands reached out, but they said, well, neither of us have actually owned a Formex, or he handled one. Keith handled one, I believe, at Windup, but I never had. So they said we have to change that so we can officially make your Mount Rushmore. So they sent the Reef GMT in.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, really, really great watch. They sent the bracelet, and I tried it on the leather strap here today. It's a deployant, but it also has ratcheting micro adjust on the deployant, so you can really dial in the fit. I've never really seen that before. Lots of innovation going on from Formex, which is super cool. It's a comfortable watch. It's big, but it works on my wrist. I don't know if it'll work on much smaller than a 7-inch wrist, to be
Mm.
honest. Lug to lug is kind of right at my limit. Uh,
250?
yeah, I actually haven't officially measured it, but just eyeballing it, it's right at the any longer, and I wouldn't personally enjoy the way it laid on my wrist. But
Yeah.
yeah, really honored that they sent it, and I'm going to get this off to Keith next. Marcus, the owner of
Nice.
Formex, is. I asked him, would it be okay if I send it to Keith? And he said, no, I encourage you to. I will even send you a shipping label so Keith can check it out for a few days. So Keith is stoked about that. And this is
Wow.
my first experience with he gave me no parameters. I can say what I want. He didn't even tell me. It was very unofficial, really. He's just like sent me an email saying that this is a loaner watch. It's not a regulated movement or anything like that. Super easy to work with.
Hmm.
Really, really great. And yeah, I'm going to send it to Keith next. He's going to send me a shipping label to do that. And then we'll, after Keith has had some time, we'll do an episode talking all about it. So excited.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds, yeah, very, very kind of him too. But
Yeah,
um,
super kind. Yeah, they're really really fun guy to chat with. Marcus and I have been chatting on Instagram Messenger here and there, and yeah, super generous for him to send this. I mean, he
yeah.
yeah, he said he's like, my booth was busy at the DC Microbrand show. He's like, so it must have been your podcast. I was like, oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, it might have been. You never know.
The
But yeah,
tens of people who listen were there, I guess.
that's a lot when it comes to the watch community.
Right, right.
um, yeah, on my wrist is my beloved SPGW 295.
Oh,
Uh,
oh, looking especially fetching this evening.
sorry, here. I put it back on the Yoro Iori strap. I really like this combo.
Yeah.
It's weird, but it really does make me think of like samurai armor. Like it makes perfect sense. Like the gold and the inky black dial with this weird leathery nylon-y thing strap going on. It makes me think of, Japanese old school, or what I'd imagine Japanese old school armor would be. At least from the movies and pictures I've seen. Yeah, I'm
Is
enjoying
it
it back.
rare for you to prefer a watch on the stock strap?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
thought so.
it is. It is.
Yeah.
I don't know if I prefer it on it.
You
It
just
is
like the
definitely
look.
a special occasion to like today's not a special occasion, but when you put it back onto like its stock setting, it
Mhm.
feels special. So like everything works together really well.
Right.
Let's say hi to everyone in the chat here. We got Bill, good to see you. Stefan is here, good to see you. Wearing the IWC Mark 17 this fine night. I
There's
am
so
walking.
many marks. There's like I don't know if I've is it Mark 18 or Mark 20 I've tried on,
Mark
but
20 just came out.
yeah, I tried that one on.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the 17. I only know the 18 and 20. I don't know what happened to
Right.
19. Chaz, how are you? Good to see you. We got Wilson here. We got BJ. Good to see you. Hey, Walter's here as well. Hey, Walter. Kevin Hawthorne is here. Good to see you, Kevin. Um, MK Try. Was it? I'm not sure. Not sure how to pronounce that, but
Mm-mm.
hey, good to see you. Ken Spear is here. The intern. Hey, how's it going? Strange, Sanjay. Not a clue. What is that? A
I don't
claim?
know either
Oh,
right now.
yeah, I have no clue. um, let's see. Hey, Bobby Legs is here. Good to see you, sir. Hope you're doing well. Chaz saying the Formix clasp is amazing. And Keith is carb loading, getting ready for the Forex. For for some reason, that looks like titanium. It's not titanium though, right?
No, it's almost like plasticky. Yeah, it's plastic, I think, but
Oh, really?
yeah. So it has it has. It's going to be impossible for me to show you, but it has the typical, like where it fits into the holes. It has
Okay.
two, and then there's actually a separate ratcheting to really fine tune it. So it just I don't know if you heard that, but it ratchets into place. So it's really
Right.
cool.
So the watch head is plastic as well?
No, 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 I'm just
Oh,
talking
okay,
about
okay.
the clasp. No, the
Okay.
stainless steel
Okay.
watch head. Yep.
That makes sense.
But the deploying itself is like a plasticky type feel. But yeah, with
Oh,
the ratcheting, it's just probably I don't really love deployants as we've talked about, but boy, this one just it really dials it in.
yeah. Yeah. We got Bobby K wearing the Langa Odysseus. Wow. Makes me think of Jaren Gold. I haven't seen the Bobby Legs show last night. I now know why Bobby, you asked me to join. But I only found out like an hour ago that he got the Odysseus. I was like, what?
I watched it. Congratulations, sir. Yeah, what a beauty. My goodness.
Oh, oh, we gotta talk. Gotta talk Bobby K. I mean, I'm sure I'll catch up most of it when I watch Friday night watch talk. But yeah, congrats, Sarmad. Hey, good to see you. Um, and thank you, sir. Hope you're doing well. Lyndon, good to see you. Um, he's saying that he would like to forget the Omega Seamaster 300. I bought and sold that watch 7 times. Oh, wow.
Wow.
Watch I have a love-hate relationship with. Wow. Detroit Spartan is here. Mez9 is here. Good to see you guys. And we are caught up. Oh, Dan is here. And Marcus F. Good day to you as well. And Bill Casey, that former clasp is carbon.
That sounds right. It doesn't feel like cheap plastic. It definitely feels sturdy, but yeah, it's not steel. So,
Yeah.
yep, that's right.
Yeah. Marcus is saying, what did Sandra buy this week? I did not buy anything. I bought a PlayStation TV.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Another thing where I'm kicking myself for not buying it when it was $50. Now it's $250. Oh well. Yeah, so topic for tonight. I thought I don't know where I heard this. I overheard someone talking about something about if you could wipe something out of your memory, what would it be? And I thought, hey, that's a good topic when it comes to watches. So uh, Clayton, shall I kick off?
Sure, go for it.
All right. I would like to forget um, about the snowflake. I would like to wipe the snowflake out of my memory. Now, it's not what you'd think. So the Grand Seiko snowflake, the SPGA 211, um, SPGA 211 was what? Yeah, SPGA 211. Sorry, I was getting distracted. Um, the thing that I like a lot about it was learning about spring drive. So, and it happened through the snowflake. And every time I learned about the snowflake, it was, or the spring drive movement, it was kind of mind blowing. Like every step of the way of learning about spring drive, thinking, hey, this watch, it has a sweeping seconds hand. It's like, wow, that's so cool. That looks really nice. Why is that? Oh, because it has this escapement, but it's not a traditional escapement. They call it like a glide wheel. I say, oh wow, that's really cool. That looks really cool. Why is that? And I just want to go through that roller coaster again. Going all the way down to, it's a quartz regulated mechanical watch that needs no batteries, has no capacitors, and just to learn about that, and then also to appreciate the snowflake dial again. So I'd like to do that again. And so if I could wipe my memory of the snowflake and then go through um, that moment of being so enamored by by this watch, and it stuck to me till this day because I love Grand Seiko, and Grand Seiko I doubt would ever leave my comfort zone, or in a sense, like it would never become stale to me, I don't think, because of the snowflake. And so I would like to wipe out the snowflake in my mind to be able to re-experience it. What are your thoughts, Clayton?
No, I totally get it. That when you told me earlier tonight about this topic, there's a few different ways you can interpret it, right? There's
Yeah.
the watch you don't like that you bought and maybe was a mistake and you just wish you could erase it so you had that money back to buy something else. Or there's the watch that you love that you sold, which we so often do, that you're kicking yourself for selling. So no, that's yet another way to interpret it, just what you said. Because I don't know, it's sort of like young love, right? It's so exciting when you meet someone. Not that being married for many years isn't exciting, but it's a different, blossoming young love with someone you just meet and like you're getting to know, and you find out all these things you have in common, and you get a little butterflies going when they call or when they look at you a certain way or whatever. It's kind of like that, right?
Yeah.
And you miss that with Grand Seiko, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I don't miss
You still get it with
I still get it, but it's not to there's like since that, you see like I don't think I had known about the reverso up until after I learned about the snowflake. So when I learned about, say, the reverso and the flipping case, I thought, that's really cool, but it wasn't to the level of, what Grand Seiko's done with Spring Drive. Like I wasn't enamored by it, and I wasn't just eating it up. I mean, I was eating it up, looking at this mechanism and, fiddling around with it, trying to look at it, how it works and how they do this kind of thing. But it's never been to the fact where I was like, okay, I need every book possible from Grand Seiko to try and learn about this. And, Mark from Long Island Watch, tell me about Spring Drive again, Mark. you know, yeah, he has a great video on it, by the way, and watch and learn. Um, so yeah, I don't think I looking at, say, a tourbillon, even a tourbillon, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's really cool, and it's really interesting," but I'm like, "Okay." It's a spinning escapement. I guess, okay, that's kinda cool. Spring Drive. Which is also why when Mark from Long Island Watch, um, said that the Accutrons,
Oh, yes.
turbines, electrostatic gimmick was like the next evolution towards a hybrid movement. I took that personally, I did.
You're never going to forget that.
No, I'm never gonna forget that. I'm gonna be an old man talking to my grandkids saying, "Remember, I still remember back in the day when
Forgiven
Marco
but not forgotten.
kids, do you know how Spring Drive works?"
Uh,
Do you have a similar experience, Clayton?
um, yeah, a little bit different. I think a watch that, and incidentally, we talked about Jeff McMahon rebuying the Marine Master 300. I actually interviewed him the other night for the podcast,
Oh,
which I have
nice.
not gotten around to editing. I'm hopefully going to get to it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, he responded to our Watch Soup episode where I had called maybe at a backward step for him,
Mhm.
and he made an Instagram post about it, and he really enjoyed the episode actually, and he was flattered that we talked about him. He was such a good sport about it. Anyway, the Marine Master 300, I think, and I told this to him in the interview. I think I was maybe projecting because I want one all the time, even though I know it doesn't work for me. I've owned two, and I know it doesn't work for me. And I think if I rebought one, which I've come close to doing several times when I go to my local Seiko AD, they have an SLA 023 there, and it looks so beautiful. And I try it on, and from the top down, it just looks so good.
Mm.
it fits me, and then if you look at that side view, and that's just ridiculous, and then the heft you feel after a while. So I just wish I could get that watch out of my head completely so I don't, like, have a moment of weakness, and he gives
Really?
me, like, a great buy it now price on the SLA 023 and I cave. So
Yeah.
maybe when I called it a backward step for Jeff, I was projecting onto, about myself that it would be a backward step for me if I were to
Mm.
ever buy it again.
That's really interesting.
It haunts me because it's like in many ways, it's the ultimate Seiko diver. It's not the most expensive Seiko
Mhm.
diver, but it is one of the most impressive when you have it in hand on wrist. And
Yeah.
and I think, like, every Seiko path wishes it worked for them or has owned one at one time. Like, Bruce Williams just bought his umpteenth. He's had a love-hate relationship with it too. It's just one
Yeah.
of those watches that seems to haunt us Seiko paths and, haunt our dreams at night. So, if I
Mm.
could erase one watch, because I know I'm going to buy one again. It may not be next year, may not be the year after. At some point, I'm gonna, like, I don't know, just trick
Hey,
myself into believing it works for me.
maybe Seiko will do a Marine Master without the monoblock case, like a
Yeah.
similar look from the top down, so you don't have to have that really tall profile. Um,
The reduced, I mean, it works, but it's just, it's not as impressively finished and all that. It obviously doesn't have the 8L35 movement, and there's just something about the MM300 that is, man, just
but then you have the SLA 055, 057,
right.
the winners of the Seiko Battle Royale, right?
Yes.
Was that
Yep.
what it's called, the Battle Royale?
Yeah, the Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble, there you go. I just got Royale on my mind, you know?
Yeah, Royale Rumble.
Royale Rumble.
There's
So,
an idea.
would you consider an SLA 055, 057?
Yes.
Maybe in another colorway if it comes out? I'm sure another one will come out
Yeah.
this year. I'll
I like the
guarantee it.
5.7 better than the 5.5 personally, but
Yeah, yeah, I
yeah.
agree. I think now that I've owned the 5.5, I think I prefer the 5.7 as well. And you got pretty close to picking one up too, right? The, Corey's one?
Yeah,
Um,
I came close, but I was proud of myself. He gave me, like, he offered an awesome price, and,
yeah,
I'm glad, somebody else bought it.
yeah, yeah. That's
But,
It's a sad day when Corey sold that, but
yeah, Navy Blue Monster, I had it on the, Crafter Blue, the SLA 023, and it still is just get some fatigue.
mm.
It
And
just
then you had the Sagaiha too.
yes,
So, quite a f oh, that makes 2.
I had 2.
Was there more?
Yeah.
Okay, 2.
No, that's it.
Yeah, yeah. That's an interesting one, that's really interesting.
Yeah, I just wish, or either I just have to, like, commit and gain, like, 50 pounds or something if I have to go all in,
Yeah,
which I can do. I mean, I'll just eat a lot of peanut butter cups.
yeah. Detroit Spartan says I glossed right over him. I didn't gloss over you. I said hi, didn't I? I'm sorry if I did. Um, must be a Marquette fan. What's a Marquette?
It's, March Madness, college
Oh,
basketball time.
gotcha. Chasing Snowflake was his first GS? Yeah. Uh, Wilson says I would never
Oh,
wipe a
jeez.
board off an art.
Yeah, talk about a watch we wish, could be burned from our memories.
Yeah.
Won't comment further.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, Paul's here, good to see you, and Wabin's here too. Good to see you guys. Let's see. Lyndon says, on the other end of the spectrum, I could say the Orient Mako 2. It's a watch that got me into watches. If not for that, I'd have much more in the bank. Oh, I was gonna say, Lyndon, because when you said it's the watch that got me into watches, I was thinking, well, if you erase that from your memory, you wouldn't have any watches, and I guess that's what you want. Uh, well, yeah, money in the bank is better than watches, I guess. I don't
I
know.
actually had, early on, I had an Orient Mako 2 USA, the white
Okay.
dial,
Yeah.
and that was actually one of the I would say one of the first watches I flipped, and I was actually kinda sad about that for a while. Never did rebuy it, but, that was a
Hmm.
great watch.
Mm.
Mark at Long Island Watch, got, like, a bunch of them in, and he had a sale on that watch, and I bought one. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Huh. I've never had spent any significant time with a Mako. Um, Kamasu, I got close to picking up, but I never really pulled the trigger
I
either.
had the red, Komatsu as
That's the
well.
one I wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice dial. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're solid watches. The bezel action's good on those. Bracelet is sort of, yeah, like a entry level Seiko bracelet, nothing to write home about.
Mm.
Press
Mhm.
clasps and all that, but, in-house movement, they keep decent time. They're great watches.
Yeah. It's good value too.
Yep.
I remember when I was just getting into watches, I was trying to find a watch store like near my house, somewhere near. So I was going to every single one that advertised that they sell watches. And I go up to their cabinet and say, "Okay, so you got these Citizens here. Can you tell me why it's better than this Orient?" And I'd show them a picture of the Orient and show them the spec list. And they're like, "Well, it's different." Because the Orient was like 100 and was about $120 back then. I'm not sure what model it was, but and the Citizen in the case was like $300, and I didn't know about negotiating prices and stuff like that. So, yeah, Orient, man, can't beat it for value.
Yeah, I had what's the dress watch? Bambino. I had a
Oh
Bambino
yeah,
also. I've had a few Orient. Yeah,
yeah,
they're all gone now, but, yeah, great watches.
yeah, yeah. Andrew, Andrew McManus says, "Do you guys think Grand Seiko has basically admitted mistake with the powers are now being moved to the back? Will they release Snowflake or Cherry Blossom with new movements? I doubt it. They would have to make significant architectural change on 9R65 to move the power reserve on the back. With the newer movements, they did those changes. The 9R82, and there's the 9R85, which still has a power reserve on the front. So, um, no, they will not. I think a power reserve is a staple, like a design flaw slash feature that Grand Seiko intentionally puts in there. And I think it's a little bit of chaos, um, to make the perfection that much nicer. I don't know. I'm trying to be a bit poetic here, but yeah, I love the Snowflake's Power Reserve, and I think it adds to the dial, adds to the charm.
I had the Soko Shadow, and,
Mhm.
I liked it. It's fun to watch it fill up, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Other than having something else to look at, I don't think it's useful. The power reserves are very useful when it comes to manual wound spring drive watches like the
Yes,
SBGY 003,
right.
which I no longer have. um, that's
Yeah, that's the thing. I want it on a manual wind. Automatic. I'm always moving around anyway. When I'm wearing a watch, I'm always active, whether it be in the house or outside or whatever. So I know I'm always doing pretty well with an automatic watch in terms of power reserve. It's never going to get too low.
yeah.
But manual wind, it's very handy to know.
Corey's here.
Yes.
Corey, you're supposed to be asleep. It's good to see you, sir. Hope you're well.
He comes up in our my chat with Jeff McMahon actually as well
Oh yeah.
about the SLA 055. So
Okay. Yeah. There you go. Navy Blue Monster says Marine Master 300 on its original rubber strap. Left the bracelet in the box. I think that's what you responded to earlier, right, Clayton?
yeah, he
Yeah.
had a couple of comments about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Um,
weight is still too much for me. I guess I'm just a weak. But even like Jeff, who has 8-inch wrists, finds it tiresome. So
yeah. Chad saying a hat and a mug. I wish I could erase from my
oh
memory.
geez, yeah, we know what that means.
I don't actually. I sent Chaz a hat. I hope the hat's okay.
It's
Um,
not a random comment. That should give you a hint.
okay, okay. I got you. But why? What? Why? What happened? I mean, okay, maybe not the place to ask. Okay. Um, Chad saying he loves the Power Reserve on the front. Let's see. Paul saying go ask a car salesman anything about a car. Watch them score him. That's funny and true.
Right.
Uh, let's see. Andrew says thinking about the SLGA 021, which has the 9RA2. I think they'll be using that now. Yeah, you're probably right. They'll most likely mostly be using the 9RA2, but I'm sure maybe some of the dive watches they'll probably stick to the 9RA5. Like we've seen that huge monstrosity of a 45 mil diver from Grand Seiko with the 9RA5. It's a beautiful watch, but man, I guess it's kind of like the Omega Ultra Deep
Right.
minus the ultra deep capabilities. Um, Sachi wasn't born yesterday. Oh, pretty close though. No, I wasn't born yesterday, but I do live under a rock. So, Marcus F says, I had to get rid of the Marine Master 300. The beast is so thick and heavy. Yeah. Chaz says still love the Omega hat. That's good. Okay. Another one that I have. Another. This one is more recent. I don't know if you can guess. I'd like to forget about the whole 44 mil Planet Ocean debacle. Oh man, we were reliving it last week when I was at the AD, and my my sales guy, he said, "What happened? You know, what? How you tried the watch on?" And I said, "I know, I did. I tried the watch on, and I then there was another guy who was with us, Ken. He was with us when I bought that, and he actually turned around, looked at me, and said, at the time I was purchasing it, he said, "Are you sure that's the 39 and a half?" So I'd kind of forgotten about that, the fact that he said that, and I said, "Oh yeah, it's a 39 and a half. I make every watch look ginormous." So he just brushed it off, and I wish I could go back in time and forget about that too. Like, it would be nice not to think about it. And my AD confirmed that they did have to sell that as a used watch. So yeah, very, very grateful to them. They didn't make me pay a restocking fee or anything. I would have, but
it is ultimately up to them to give you the correct watch. So, like we talked about that day, I don't know, things happen so fast when you're trying on a watch. You're so excited. There's other people there. Like sometimes you just don't notice little flaws, or anything. There might be an existing scratch on it you'd never notice until you got it home. And in this case, you were excited, and it was the wrong size. But hey, it's an honest mistake. I think it could happen.
Yeah. Still I still cringe. I still, even thinking back on the live stream after, when I was old, I don't understand. I don't understand how I looked at the, like, if you guys go back a couple of weeks and watch me show the watch on my wrist, it looks like a clock. It's so bad. And I say right after, in the same breath, I say, "It's not that bad, is it?" And you can see like the blood draining from Keith's face. not answering the question, And I have a couple of wrist shots of it too, and man, I honestly remember thinking, "Hey, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I can keep this." So yeah, I really would like to nuke that out of my brain. So.
I remember we did a podcast, I think, the next day, and you showed it to me, and I remember, oh, that doesn't look so bad. But then
That's
I
true.
think the week after you got the 39, you showed a wrist shot, and then I was like, oh yeah, definitely looks way too big.
Yeah.
It took that comparison for me to be like, ah, yeah, you made the right call.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see if I can pull up a picture of the wrist shot. I'm pretty sure I have that online. That's a
Yeah,
cringeworthy.
Paul is saying it's all on them. Like you shouldn't feel bad about that. Ultimately, they brought out the wrong watch for you. So
Yeah. Yeah. I guess so, but I mean, I'm willing to shoulder some of the blame. Um, but let me show this here. Can you see it? No.
nope.
Oh,
There we go.
look at that.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
shot. I was like, all right, you made the right call. Totally.
Oh man, I took the shot unironically, thinking that doesn't look so bad, you know.
Looks like the
Yeah,
deep sea challenge.
yeah, the Ultra Deep right there.
Yeah.
It was almost 200 grams too. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah. So let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. And sorry. Um, even though he looks like he hasn't aged a second, I'm not sure what the. Oh, I see. I wasn't born yesterday, even though I look like I haven't aged a second. um, yeah, Paul saying it's not what you bought. They should honor that. Period. No questions asked. They didn't ask any questions or anything like that. It was just yeah.
Sounds like they are waiting for you. Like, yeah, we know we gave you the wrong watch.
Yeah, they were. They were.
Yeah.
Uh, Sanjay was rocking the deep sea. Yeah. Uh, goodness, you're so nice. I would have made them open back up at midnight. No, no, you wouldn't have, Paul. I know you wouldn't have. Make us making frying pans now. Yeah, yeah, I could have worn that around my neck. Call myself Flavor Flav. Bobby says when Sanjay wore that XL Plan Ocean, went to Toronto to try it out for the Toronto Raptors team. Yeah. Well, Clayton, do you have another one you can throw in?
Yeah, it's an Omega, the S&P 300.
Okay.
I've talked about how it's not one of my favorite watches, but when I got into watch collecting, I always loved that. I think that watch was in sort of somewhere in here in my consciousness before I was ever into watches. I don't know if it was from James Bond or what it was, but that was always my grail watch. And that was the first luxury watch I bought, the previous gen with the glossy dial, not the um, wave dial.
Yeah.
And I loved that watch when I got it. And then but I tried other watches and I didn't love the bezel action and the bracelet. And now I've owned the white dial current gen. I've owned the No Time to Die. I'm flirting with buying the tritone one right now that Marcus has. I've been in love with it ever since you borrowed it from him.
Yeah.
Toppers actually has one on their pre-owned site. It's taken off right now as we wheel and deal with maybe some of my
Oh.
watches. I don't know if it's gonna happen. She's not until Monday. So
Okay.
but yeah, so I have a love-hate because I love the way it looks so much. Like but the wearing experience has not always been great for me. There's just like something always off about them. The bracelets are just there's no taper, they're a little clunky. I like the way they look, but they're just chunky. No Time to Die, the clasp dug into my wrist and was uncomfortable. Like there's always just one thing that I can't tolerate with them anymore, and I end up selling them. But again,
Hmm.
I'm drawn to the look where I keep going back. Lyndon said he's on his 7th. I'm
Yeah.
flirting with going on to my 4th. So,
Yeah.
and I'm sure like at some point there'll be something about that watch. But having the standard version be titanium. I know there's a little weight to it with the tantalum,
Mhm.
and the rose gold. But I think the bracelet will hopefully be a little more manageable if I decide to go that route, since it is a lighter material and I won't get that wrist fatigue or those hot spots even. I got like hot spots because I like to wear my watches a little bit tighter, and I
Yeah.
always found the edges of the bracelet to be a little sharp on the SMP.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a watch, and maybe like your story with the snowflake. Like maybe I wish I didn't buy it at all, and
Mhm.
I still would have this like romantic vision of it because I've sort of fallen out of love with it a little bit.
Okay.
Um, but I wish I felt like I did when I first bought that watch because that was the first time I spent that much money on a watch,
Yeah.
and, I bought it pre-owned from somebody I had become friends with, online, and, yeah, just the feeling when that came in the mail and how excited I was,
Mhm.
I don't know if I've ever had that even since, even, like, getting the call for the Air King, it was a different kind, but there was, like, that I don't know, just, like, the newfound, like, I'm really entering this new world, that maybe I'm desensitized now to, but I don't know, it's just an exciting new world, if that makes it sounds terrible, but
No, no,
that's
no. Hey, no. That makes
yeah,
sense.
so maybe I wish I didn't buy it at all, and I'd still have the romantic, opinion of it instead of having owned a few and maybe not being so enamored.
Yeah. Well, if you didn't buy it though, I feel like I feel like it would have happened anyway.
Right.
And that's kind of like the Thanos thing. I am inevitable. This Seamaster is inevitable. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
movie reference and everything. Um, so yeah, I feel like if you didn't, that's more like if you had all the knowledge of how every single Seamaster would wear on your wrist, and then assimilated that into your brain.
Right.
um, yeah. But maybe what was the next one you got after you got that Seamaster? Like the next big purchase?
Rolex Explorer.
Okay. So maybe oh, maybe that would have been your big like overjoyed experience that
Right.
you had. Oh man.
It was different, like, that was exciting, that was very exciting, obviously, and I
Yeah.
remember, it was through someone I met through Random Rob, and I remember Rob got he had the Explorer, he did some videos on it, and then I got it. That was an exciting time, but it was different than that first big purchase where it was just like, yeah, I was like, "Okay,
Hmm.
I'm a watch collector." Like, okay. It was like I'm a real watch collector now. I just it was that kind of feeling, and not because of how much money I spent. It was just
Mhm.
because I never thought I'd be and something we've talked about before, I never thought I'd be able to buy a watch that cost that much. Like, I thought it was just an impossible thing, and then it just, it happened, and it was just such a great feeling that I think now, we're salty old veterans at this. Like, do we feel that way anymore? Like, um, I don't know if
Hmm.
I've been excited about purchases, don't get me wrong, but there was something about that one that, I don't know that I've ever replicated.
Hmm.
It's
I'll have to
just
think about
different,
it.
just
Yeah.
different.
Jason here, he purchased a Speedy today.
Nice.
Yeah,
Congrats.
congrats. The 3861. It's a big milestone. Hey, congrats. Hope you're having the butterflies in your stomach like Clayton had with his sea match. um, and I think Corey explained that he was up with his son today. I lost. Oh, there we go. That's why Corey's here. Hope everything's okay, Corey. Um, let's see. Scrolling back down here. Detroit Spartan says he tried on the Ultra Deep the other day. Not bad at all, especially after trying on the Deep Sea Challenge. Oh, yeah.
What size wrist do you have, Detroit? I always forget.
I'm guessing 7.
I don't know. I'm trying to picture how watches look on his wrist. I can't right now. I can't even guess.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll find out soon. Let's see.
725.
725.
Seven a
Oh,
quarter.
pretty close. Jason says he got butterflies. There you go.
Nice.
Yeah. Um,
I think 7 1/4 is like, I'm jealous of that. I think that'd be perfect because you can really pull off anything. You can pull off smaller watches. You can pull off, maybe like a 52
mhm.
millimeter lug to lug like that. It's just sort of the Swiss Army knife of wrist circumference. You can kind of wear everything and get away with it. You can do a
Yeah.
36 with that. You can do a 44. Kind of do anything.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if Detroit Spartan would do a 36 though. Would he? Would you? But I was thinking a bit about what you just said, Clayton, about that first big watch and having those really crazy feelings about being a watch collector. I think I've always been like in that transition from when I had lower end Seikos to Citizens to that's about it. And then that transition to something a bit more intense was always filled with disappointment. Because I didn't start enjoying it until I hit the Grand Seikos and the higher end Seikos. Um, because I remember getting the C Star, like the Tissot C Star. That was like the first watch that broke the $1,000 barrier, and it was so disappointing. It was so underwhelming. It was too big for my wrist, and it was another instance where I was lying to myself about, hey, I could pull this off, right? Taking 100 wrist shots, trying to prove myself wrong, basically. Um, and then after that, it was the Oris Big Crown, not the Big Crown, sorry, it was the Oris Diver 65, the one with the bronze bezel, so bronze and steel. Um, it was a nice watch, but it just didn't feel premium. Like it didn't feel as premium as it could, and I was still super excited about it, but it was always tempered with a edge of disappointment, like a sharp or blunt edge of disappointment. um, and yeah, even when I got to like the Seiko SJE 073 with the 6L35 movement, um, and what else? After that it was the Grand Seiko SBGX, one of the quartz models, and then I finally did that significant jump up to the Snowflake after that, and that's where I got the that amazing you know feeling of everything here is good, and there's no edge of disappointment. Um, so I guess yeah, because every step and there were a lot of steps to getting up to that was a little disappointing. I'm not saying it was all like really bad, but it was all good, but tempered with disappointment. I never had that euphoria that I'm a watch collector now. Look how cool this is, and it's yeah. So
Well,
I think
one of the reasons I mentioned the S&P 300 is because after wearing it for a while, I started to kind of have my love-hate the hate part came in because there's no micro adjust on that previous gen.
mm,
Um, like I had to wear it a little tighter than I like, and I like to wear tight, but that's where like the sharp edges came in. I don't know if you remember, I had the black dial. The bezel insert is very faint. It doesn't have
yeah.
like a strong white highlight, so you lose it in a lot of lights. I didn't like that. I didn't love the bezel action, with the scalloped edge, and that's where the hate came in after a while. The hate's a
Mm.
strong word, but I mean the moans and niggles section came in, right? Where I was like, oh, like I had, my Seikos have better bezel action. I enjoy turning those bezels more. Even everyone's gonna laugh, but the Shinola Monster that I have, I mean, it has an awesome micro adjust. It has awesome bezel action. And I was like,
Mm.
oh, and this watch I spent like triple on or double on, whatever it was. You know, it's supposed to be better, I think, but I don't know. It doesn't quite measure up in the ways that are important to me.
Hmm.
But, still, I'll never forget the day and I didn't even get it from an AD. I bought it from, a friend, and, he sent me a bunch of videos. I remember like very detailed, like of him even at the, mailing it and everything, like super detailed seller. And I was so excited. And yeah,
That's really
even
awesome.
though the watch didn't stay and I've grown to, I don't know, have mixed feelings about the S&P 300 for sure. I'll just never forget like that how I felt.
Mhm.
I don't know why
Yeah.
I don't know, it just resonated with me that whole experience.
Yeah, that makes sense. It sounds like you talked yourself out of the tritone.
No, I'm still because every SMP I've had is different. Like I had
Right.
that previous gen, then I had the white dial with the micro adjust, the better bezel insert that you can actually make out, a little stronger highlights on that. And then I had the No Time to Die, which is
Mm.
titanium complete. And this one again is a different lighter materials than the white dial, for
Yeah.
instance. So every one I've owned now, if I get the tritone, will be different. Um,
Would you get the No Time to Die again if you could?
no, because I think I could not wear it on anything but that bracelet.
Okay.
Because it just looks way better on that bracelet. It's a strap. I mean, it really is like versatile on straps. You can wear it on brown leather. It looks so good,
Mm.
or NATO obviously. But that no, it just that on that mesh, and it just the clasp dug into my wrist. So I
Right.
probably would not. But oh, it's such a beautiful looking watch. If that bracelet worked for me, I would still have that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um, would like a rubber, fitted rubber, like the Omega stock Omega rubber
That's the
strap?
one thing I didn't try. I probably could have got like a brown, or I bought some sailcloth for it.
Yeah.
But I don't know, just the way it looks on bracelet, there was like, if that's not gonna work for me, I don't think I can
Right.
wear it on anything else.
Yeah, I understand that
Yeah,
actually.
that was
Yeah.
just the ultimate way to wear that watch, I think. It just looks so good.
Yeah. Makes sense. Chaz saying he got nauseated the first time he bought a nice watch. Was that the Tudor Smile Dial Black Bay 41?
There is a feeling of that, right? When if you especially if it's like PayPal and
Yeah.
all of a sudden that money like comes right out of your account. When I bought the Explorer, that's what happened. I was like, "Oh, wow, this is real."
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Detroit Spartan says, I'd love to buy several 36 millimeter Rolexes, but they look ridiculously small on my wrist. Yeah. Hey, Jeffrey. Good to see you. Good
Hey,
evening to
Jeff.
you as well. Um, let's see. Bobby K, I think I've been at it long enough that the butterflies in my stomach can't fly anymore. Yeah. I think the butterflies in your stomach is kind of that nauseated feeling as well, right?
Right.
Like, yeah, like you
It's
won't,
like
you,
nervous, but like a good nervous, or anxious, or but in a good way. It's like happy
yeah,
tears.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Or like when the when the roller coaster hits the dive.
Yes. Your insides are like coming up a little bit.
Yeah. Uh, Jason saying watch collecting's a fun journey. Um, Paul saying I like to think I got my Explorer on my own because Wilson allows it. It was all that yelling, Paul. You jerks! You haven't got me my Explorer. It's been a year. um, Wilson loves all of us silly geese. We love you too, Wilson. We love you too.
Love you, Wilson.
Okay. Bobby K being humble again. Jason saying paid 10,000 cash for my speech today. I had to think good and hard about it. I'm glad I did. You must be Canadian, Jason. Can't be U.S.
Yeah, I hope
dollars.
that's not US.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think I have another one. I mean, that's I'd like to forget about that Tissot C Star 1000 as well, but
I mean, the
let's not.
Submariner, I could say, I guess.
Yeah.
I ownership after the honeymoon wore off was it just wasn't satisfying for me.
Mm,
I don't know if I would burn it from my memory. I'm glad I owned it because it is still like the best quality watch I ever owned. But yet there was still a lack of connection there for whatever reason.
Yeah.
It was like too nice, I think, or it was too. I just I don't know. I was sad that a watch like that wasn't ever going to show age. It's
Yeah.
I don't know, like I don't know. I just feel like it's far away from what it used to be. Um,
So, how about the new Omega James Bond? Like not the No Time to Die, but the blue with the
mhm,
aluminum bezel. I think the dial's aluminum too.
I
Am I,
think
am I
so.
correct?
Yeah.
Would you prefer that over the No Time to Die? Well, that was
Uh,
all aluminum too, right?
yeah, that's aluminum
Yeah,
also.
that's
Yep.
true.
Yep.
Hmm.
No, like I said, the clasp on that is the only reason I sold the No Time to Die.
Yeah.
Yeah, really did. The bezel was a little misaligned, but that's okay. But I would still have that watch if that the bracelet also doesn't conform. So if you have a yeah, like 7 1/4 or 7.5 inch wrist, like that bracelet's gonna wear great on you. Um,
Mhm.
but it just fits so weird on me with a because it doesn't hug the wrist. It just there's you can like stick a finger in that gap between the
Oh,
bracelet and your wrist when you have
yeah.
a smaller wrist like I do,
Right.
which is an
Um,
average size wrist, I guess. But I mean, even like I think Adrian Barkin Jack, he complained about that in the video when he had it.
yeah.
Um, yeah. The clasp is also it takes up the whole bottom of your wrist essentially. It's very
Yeah.
long.
And it sticks out the side.
Yeah.
I think that's what Adrian was saying too.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, going back to the sub though, have you had the chance to try the current gen one, the 2020 41 mil model?
I've handled it. Yeah, that I owned the previous gen.
Yeah,
So,
the
but
Maxi.
I think I would probably if I ever got another Submariner, I would get a pre-ceramic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't think the sub's like dead to me. I'd probably go for an older one. I don't know. There's just
Yeah.
something about and I know I'm probably in the minority, but I like those battle scars. I don't
Right.
know. I love that. So
Yeah.
my friend, my one of my clients has the 50th anniversary, the Kermit, the original Kermit with the
Okay.
pre-ceramic Kermit, and every chance I get, I ask him if I can just take a look at it, and he actually it was very beat up, and he sent it in for service, and they polished it up nice. He didn't specify he didn't want that, and he was very disappointed.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
he wears it all the time. He's not a watch guy, it's like his one and only watch. So
Wow.
I told him he'll mark it up again.
Yeah. So he's not a watch guy, but he likes the scars, eh? That's
Yeah, he got it as a gift. He said, "I've laid brick in it. I've worn it for everything."
hmm.
And oh yeah, like bezel springs were actually sticking out of the bezel. Like I looked at it and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" Like I like wabi sabi, and I was a little like, "Oh, I don't know." So yeah,
Wow. Okay. Jason, we're neighbors. Wow. Yeah. That's small world.
that's what Detroit Spartan is saying. The bracelets on those older subs are not good. So if I could get like a pre-ceramic on the modern Oyster, then we're talking.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, wasn't there an overlap where the bracelets did improve, but they didn't have that chunky clasp, pressed clasp?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember on my clients what the bracelet's like
Yeah.
on the Kermit.
I don't know. Detroit Spartan is saying this with a tongue in his cheek. They're on a NATO. New
And an
NATO
18
from the
millimeter, yeah, an 18 millimeter NATO too, like a Connery, right?
yeah from the new ribbed Jarkin bark strap. Sub on a NATO. That's if I think of Submariner on a NATO, I think of Adrian. So yeah. Well, I think it's a good time to call it a night. We're hitting 10 o'clock. Running a bit on fumes here. So, Clayton, got any plans tomorrow night?
I'll be here again, well, on Bobby Leg's channel for, Watch Soup, episode 3. It was, not a great week for videos, was it? I wasn't inspired by
It
too
was
much. Not
it was
to mention
Rolex
the one.
heavy.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of that,
Everyone talking about Rolex market crashing while at the same time it's not really crashing.
normalizing,
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
but,
clickbait titles.
I think we have some good videos though, and, yeah, it's available as a podcast now too, so
Sweet,
that'll be
yeah.
fun, and, I look forward to hanging out with you and Bobby tomorrow.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Um,
Enjoyed your, Elegant video
oh,
also.
thank you. Yeah, Elegant Video is live on the channel. Thank you, Marcus, again. I have an Explorer 2 now.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. I'm rolling in the Rolex, you know? I gotta say I'm not fond of this one. This
No?
might get a critical review, but we'll see. We'll see. I might
It's the
warm up to it.
only it's the last, true Rolex though, right?
Oh,
Remember
please.
Oshin?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. I'm not gonna comment. I mean, we did comment on it. I don't know. That was kind of pushing it, I think.
I th Yeah, that watch has never, personally done much for me, and also it wears big on me. I've tried the 42 millimeter on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
little too
52 lug
much.
to lug.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
pretty up there.
yeah.
But I mean, it wears nice, like for a larger watch, for a larger lug to lug. I think it handles itself well, but it's needless. Like, why would they go up to 42 when the 40? Presumably, I'm looking at this watch and like 40 would have been nice. um,
Yeah.
and yeah. Anyway, well,
I
we'll
know
talk about that.
that's the thing. It's like all the vintage Rolex. Like if the Milgauss, if something happens and it's discontinued, and I like can't get that, and she asked me like, "What's another Rolex you would like?" I don't know that there is one.
Mm,
I don't think there's another modern Rolex I'm really interested in waiting for, or and putting that much money into. Obviously, it's a good place to put your money if that's, but I don't know. I think there's other brands I'd rather check out if I can't get the Milgauss. Like I like the
mm.
Datejust. Do I like it enough to buy it? I don't think so.
Yeah, yeah. Mm. I don't know.
Two
Speculative
Tone
watches.
Explorer, maybe. I've been flirting with that. Like that's like
Yeah,
so ridiculous that I think it's pretty cool actually.
I like it. I like the
Yeah.
Titan Explorer, but a lot of people say it's an abomination. So
Yeah. Another reason to get it. Like
yeah,
I'm not like, what are my options? Like, because I've only bought 2 watches, so I don't think I qualify for, certain heavy hitter Rolexes yet. So, I don't know if
yeah.
there's just anything else I don't know, like enough to buy. I don't know.
Well, Jenny L talked about the two-tone Explorer in one of the videos from like Rolex prices are crashing.
Mhm.
Um, and the two-tone Explorer is one that you mentioned you can get under list on the pre-owned market.
Right.
So yeah, that's good news for us, I guess. But um, the problem though is a couple of people from was it last week or the week before they mentioned that you can't put it on a strap anymore. That it doesn't work well with straps anymore because of something, and it's supposed to always be worn on a bracelet.
Mm.
The Explorer in general, and that's really a big problem for me. Like as much as I love the two-tone Explorer, I like 95% of the time I would wear it on a strap to tone it down. To have that nice glow on the bezel, but then, the rest of the watch should be a bit subdued, right? Um, at least that would be my preference. And if you can't wear it on the strap, then I don't want it.
No, with Rolex, that's one. The bracelets are just too good, and I don't know. The tolerances are so tight on those spring bars because 'cause they're so well made that it's like, I don't know. I messed around with my Explorer that I used to have, and,
Yeah.
I did okay. I'm pretty careful when I'm changing out straps, but it's an unnerving experience because
Mm.
you don't want to make a mistake, and like you need those. I think the plier spring bar removal tools are your best bet. Tape them
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
But the bracelets are just so good, and I don't know. It's like on strap, I just didn't like it as much. But like Bobby's moved his sub, Bobby Legs has moved his sub to a strap. It looks awesome.
Yeah, it
Um,
does.
yeah, so yeah,
Very
I don't know.
yacht master.
The Yachtmaster 40 road what is is it rhodium dial? What am
Yeah,
I?
yeah,
Yeah,
rhodium.
yeah, that looks good too. Yep.
Yeah.
But again, it's like 12 grand. Do I like it? Do I like it that much? I'm not sure. I think I'd rather buy some other things at 12 grand.
Yeah. And thus we have returned to last week's topic.
Right.
Uh, anyway. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It was an honor to spend some time with you. It was an honor that you spent some time with us. Hope to see you again tomorrow night on the Bobby Legs YouTube channel for Watch Soup. But other than that,
Yes.
stay safe out there. You are infinitely valuable, and it's true. I hope you know that you're worth it. And see you guys tomorrow.
Have a good
Bye.
night, guys. Thank you.
Good night.
See ya.